Set. Questions, please.
You look at Saturday's game, the way you rotated guys, particularly right guard and center. Was there an element of sort of an audition or tryout for those guys to kind of make their case as the season goes on?
Well, yeah, I think that one thing that this line has is they understand there's competition, and every day they come to practice. It's a chance to compete, and they all want to play, but they got to understand that the next guy's got to be ready to play.
Would you expect to see or use less of that rotation as the season goes on?
You know what? I don't mind rotating as long as the guys rotating. They're starter level and competing and doing the right things.
Is this an especially competitive week of practice? Given the struggles that Pat and the players have talked about the last couple of weeks.
I think every week is. I don't know if there's a week you play in this ACC conference that isn't a battle. We're going on the road, playing in a hostile environment in a dome, and looking forward to a challenge.
Do you feel like you've settled on Alex as the answer for now, right tackle?
Every week there's competition, and that's the thing that is true in any position, and that's what this line has is some competition and depth, and guys are competing to get reps and be part of it on the field.
Mike Herndon had to play defense against Georgia Tech and then goes back to the offensive line. How's he kind of handled, having to do both, especially the last 2 weeks?
Sure. Mike's done a great job. That's one thing. Credit to him is his ability to just be in the shoes where he's at. And that's that's being a tough physical lineman, whether it's offense or defense.
Have you had someone switch positions as much as he has, not just this year, but sort of throughout his career? It seems like he sort of just goes wherever you guys need him.
I've had guys mix between tight end and guard and that position, and maybe tackle tight end a little bit, but not from one side to the other quite like Mike has.
How has Brandon Hodges, made his transition, and how has he been progressing since training camp?
He's added competition and depth, and that's the one thing why we brought him here was to, have a older guy who's been around a little bit and create competition.
Jimmy Morrissey, you won the battle coming out of camp, rotated a little bit with Connor. What are the things that you're looking for Jimmy to be better at?
Jimmy is a very detailed, very smart, tough player, and he does a great job. But also, he's a freshman, and freshmen still have make freshman mistakes, and he's got to understand the importance of that center role, and Connor does also, and that creates competition between those two.
What does Brandon have to do to get more playing time?
Brandon
Hodges.
Well, he's still working on learning and continuing to grow in the system.
Let's go back to Herndon for a second. What is he doing well at right guard that you guys have wanted to get him in there as much as you have?
Mike, the one thing he is, he's a strong, big guy who plays with strength and power, and that's one element you need to have in a run game is Dorian Johnson. One thing he had was explosive power in that interior, and that's what you're looking for, being able to move guys inside.
How much does it help that he's been here as long as he has, despite changing the positions?
That's the thing I tell all those young guys. Most linemen do red shirt, and whether their first year is like 8th grade, when they're young guys, and then their freshman year is like a red shirt year. So there's a progression that takes time for guys and linemen to develop.
How's Brian's transition to left tackle kind of gone these first few games?
It takes time. Just the timing and punching and the timing of all those things take a lot of time, and he works very hard at it, and you can see the improvement as games go on.
Still gave up 3 sacks, but did you feel like last week there were more times when Max had a clean pocket and was able to throw the ball downfield?
Well, it's just like any stat. The linemen get all the negativity. It's the whole thing, but yeah, the pockets and the timing seem pretty clean, and at the end of the day, you're judged on that, and whether they come from different spots or whatever, it's a whole team effort. But we know our job is to protect the quarterback, and we take that very serious.
Do you feel like your position's kind of the scapegoat?
No. That's just the nature of it, and we understand that no matter what, we got to battle our tails off to keep that quarterback clean.
Do you guys maybe, John, take things personal when things don't go? so
Oh,
well?
absolutely. That's the nature of any competitor. Whether it's a minus yardage play or a sack, it's personal. Our guys feel that, and they know the urgency to go compete and get better.
How does that manifest itself? Taking it personal? Are they hard on themselves? Are they hard on you? Are you hard on them?
I think any guy, when you don't do some things, as an individual, which then carries over as a whole group, you do take it personal, and you want to go back out, and that's what makes practice fun. The ability to go out on a Tuesday and have a hard working day and grind at the details and compete to get better.
Was practice fun today?
Oh, absolutely. You always feel, when you're sweaty and physically you've worn out, you feel like you've accomplished something. Now you go back and look at the film and critique it.
One thing that you guys need to do better in that running game to get some push and sort of get that on track?
Well, it's a number of things that you evaluate, whether it's footwork or hand placement or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it's a combination between the whole offense and that ties into run and pass and play action and being able to block effectively. You got to do all those phases good.